Hi, let's take a look at the overview of the nerves for the upper limb. So let's start at the shoulder. So the deltoid muscle is supplied by the axillary nerve. The axillary nerve is a branch of the posterior cord of the brachial plexus. So the ventral primary rami of nerves C5 through T1, I like to think of it as C5, 6, 7, 8, T1, are the brachial plexus. And the axillary nerve contains fibers from VPR of C5 and C6. And so if there was any issue with the axillary nerve, a lesion or an entrapment, something that could impinge on that quadrangular space through which the axillary nerve is transmitted, that's going to manifest as issues with an inability to fully abduct the arm. Looking inferiorly from that, we can see the radial nerve supplying the posterior compartment of the arm, and as you know, it also descends to supply the posterior compartment of the forearm as well, and a little bit of the hand in terms of its dermatome. The radial nerve is the continuation of the posterior cord of the brachial plexus and contains fibers from all of the ventral primary rami, C5 through T1. And if there were any issues with the radial nerve, any lesions with it, if there was a fracture of the humeral shaft there, this would manifest itself as extreme difficulty in the extension of the arm as well as the forearm as well. So flipping back around to the posterior view, I'd remind you that the brachial plexus, its cords are named for their relative locations to the axillary artery, which is transmitted through the axilla. And you can see here that axillary artery has been cut. Well, we have the posterior cord here, and I just want to show you there's the axillary nerve. That's a terrible trace, but here's the posterior cord. There's the axillary nerve going through that quadrangular space, and then there is the radial nerve. Oh, that's another terrible trace. There's the radial nerve that's wrapping itself around the humerus there. So posterior cord, axillary, radial. Kind of pushed out of the way are the medial and the lateral cords. They make a really nice M here. So there's the medial cord, and you can see there's the lateral cord sort of been pushed away. And I'm going to just draw this. So there's the ulnar nerve, there's the musculocutaneous, then there are contributions from the medial and lateral cord to form the median nerve. So I'll trace each of these again, but you'll see this in much greater detail with a much more beautiful drawing. So there's ulnar, I'm going up. There's to its medial cord. There's musculocutaneous to its lateral cord. And then here's the median nerve, which has contributions of both. So I know that's a horrible tracing job, but if I were to draw it out here, there's the medial cord going into the ulnar nerve. There's the lateral cord going into the musculocutaneous. And then we have contributions from the medial and contributions from the lateral to form the median nerve. So there's musculocutaneous, there is median, and there is the ulnar. So you can see this very nice Michigan M formed by the brachial plexus. Now, in the arm itself, we really don't care much about the median and the ulnar nerve. They're just kind of moving through, whereas musculocutaneous nerve is the hero of the anterior compartment. We can see that running here. And the thing that you want to look for the musculocutaneous nerve is that it's going to pierce the coracobrachialis muscle, which is located right here. Okay, so let's move right along to the anterior forearm, where the median nerve and the ulnar nerve are much more important. So the median nerve is moving down here, and you can see it's been cut there. If we were to see it continue, we would see it go through the carpal tunnel. So any inflammation of the bursae, or the tendons in the carpal tunnel, can actually impinge on the median nerve and cause some issues for us distally. So that median nerve comes from both the lateral and medial cords of the brachial plexus. It has fibers from C6 through T1. It's going to serve most of the arms of the anterior, most of the muscles of the anterior compartment of the forearm, everything except flexor carpi ulnaris and 1/2 of the muscle of flexor digitorum profundus. So the ulnar side of flexor digitorum profundus is served by the ulnar nerve. So that's why we say 1.5 muscles of the forearm are served by the ulnar nerve. So median nerve, most of the muscles of the anterior forearm, as well as the thenar compartment of the hand, which we'll discuss in great detail in another session. The ulnar nerve, which we can see moving down along there, extending up there. If you've ever kind of dinged the medial side of your elbow, you hear that referred to as hitting your funny bone. What you're doing is you're actually hitting that ulnar nerve, and that jolt that you feel is down the area that the ulnar nerve innervates. So the ulnar nerve, by most sources, is containing fibers of C8 through T1. Some sources are also now saying fibers from C7 as well. It's that continuation of the medial cord of the brachial plexus. It's innervating some of the anterior compartment of the forearm, so flexor carpi ulnaris and 1/2 of the belly of flexor digitorum profundus, as well as it's innervating most of the intrinsic hand muscles minus the thenar compartment. So any issue with the ulnar nerve is primarily going to manifest as loss of function of those intrinsic hand muscles. So that's our overview of the nerves of the upper limb. I thank you for your time. Take care.